Hey guys, what's going on? I'm back with the second top four match. Ford Reklev versus Jimmy Pendarvis. Jimmy playing ZoroPod, Tord playing Control Zorak. Now this matchup is heavily favored for Tord. We even see him going first game one. Got a pretty good hand that looks like triple Zorak turn two. If he wants to get rid of the field blower, yeah, and he will. So yeah, Tord already going off to a great start. He got double evil soda Zorak in hand. This matchup isn't I mean, it's pretty close to unwinnable. I was actually debating if I even wanted to VOD review this because it is going to be a little bit of a draining experience. I don't blame you if you guys want to skip this one. I'm going to go over it anyways. Yeah, please feel free to skip this one. I'm being serious. This matchup is going to be super grindy, super long. It'll be overall just kind of frustrating to watch because in these kind of situations, you want to root for Jimmy to get something done. But and anytime it looks like he might be close to getting something done, Tord's deck should be able to come up with a solution. See Jimmy draw. It looks like he'll have the turn one Bridget as well himself. I can't see his full hand. It looks like open double puzzle, which is like really bad in Dark decks. So I want to see him go triple Zorua here if he has the option to. I don't want to see the Wimpod come out until later. I think he's got to keep up with trades and then go from there kind of as Jimmy. But it looks like he may be prized one. So yeah, going with the Wimpod is fine. I think I would like to see him just go triple Zorua though. Excuse me. To start off with, set up Zorik's trade. And then transition into like, ideally you want to transition into double Galissapod with float stones. Because that would force Tord to use Flare Grunt to get rid of the basic grass energy. That's ideally what you'd want to find. I think we're gonna have to see a puzzle to look at the top three here from Jimmy. I don't know for sure though. I think he has double puzzle in hand and nothing else for draw support, but I don't know. Like a broken sleeve. On Jimmy's side, fix that real fast. Excuse me. There we go. Broken sleeve fixed. Oh, looks like another one. All right, we're gonna have to get another sleeve re-sleeve. This is why you use dragon shields, people. See, Tord knows what's up. He's got the yellow dragon shields on, unbreakable, indestructible, and then you got Jimmy Pendarvis over here with the not so indestructible Ultra Pros. Once again, he's struggling with the shuffle. So we got his deck re-sleeves. He's ready to go. Hashtag use dragon shields. All right. And I think okay. Hopefully he has a follow up here. We're gonna see Tord get a Pokemon, do a quick deck check. And it seems like that's kind of how Tord does his deck checking. He does like so I wouldn't have hated to see from Tord actually. I think I would have liked to have seen the DC attachment to the Lele. So he could be more aggressive on his first turn. Either attach second DCE or retreat to Zorak, attack with Zorak. I don't see a reason not to do that really on Tord's side. And he has Ace Roll in the deck, so next turn he could find the turn after he could find Ace Roll and Ace Roll to Lele. So I think I would like to have seen that. It's not a huge deal. He's actually gonna trade a DC. He's probably looking for Guzma here or Floatstone. He has an N now, but he really would like a Goose. I don't think there's a Guzma in that hand. So we're probably gonna whiff the turn one attack here from Tord. Oranguru is already coming down. That is the card that will give Tord the longevity to out resource Jimmy. And so okay, so Tord plays one Floatstone. So that means he has one card in his deck right now that could actually draw him the out here. And if he's gonna be content with going with this play by putting the DC in play, so this is more. I mean, this is like could get enhanced hammer. Just like if he attached to the Lele initially, that could get enhanced hammered. This could get enhanced hammered. It's on the same level of like the same risk level of putting the DC in play. Like if you put the DC on the Lele turn one, has the same risk level of getting enhanced hammered as this DC on the bench. So if he's gonna do this DC play and not just play Cynthia, save the DC, trying to get like the DC plus Guzma combo next turn and try and make it so Jimmy doesn't get the option to enhance hammer, I would have liked to have seen him attach the DC initially to Lele. So it's basically the same play, in my opinion. it has the same risk level of getting enhanced hammered and being punished by enhanced hammer. This attaching the DCE here as attaching the DCE to the Lele turn 1. So if he's gonna do this, I would like to see him do DCE to Lele turn 1. But if he's not gonna do Lele to DCE turn 1, then I don't want to see him put the DCE on the Zork. It's you have one card, one float zone in the deck. You have no more trades left. Like, it's just not gonna happen. That is basically what I'm trying to say. I'm also not sure why he benched Orangaroo. I don't think that was necessary. I think he could have done left that space open for a Lele so he could like find Guzma next turn and just Guzma chase one of the small boys on Jimmy's bench. See the trade Max Potion, definitely not something Matt wants to be trading. He has DCE Guzma. I don't think he had the Guzma in hand before. I think he traded into one of those, so we're just gonna probably see a swing for 100. Not great from Jimmy, and this is actually coming back where Tord could have punished this with the Guzma play, and he would have Guzma KO'd Wimpod because it's so easy for him to remove all the energy, the DCEs constantly. Also, like an Acerola play here from Tord would be good. Pick up the Lele. And there's the Acerola. So Acerola is super nice here. Probably trade the Evo Soda. Ultra Ball is a little bit better because you might want to go Ultra Ball for Lele at some point. A little bit better to hold on to. There's the Mew. That's triple trade. It looks like it's going to probably be an Acerola for Tord on this turn. Yeah, I don't know why he benched Orangaroo when he did. He could have left that spice open for a Lele, give himself maximum amount of options on his following turn. This is kind of the best play. I mean, Guzma Kill the Wimpod is pretty good too on Tord's side, but this is also just fine. He's just looking to eventually run Jimmy out of resources, so he's just going to be chilling for a while. He doesn't really mind just chilling. Once again, a pretty poor hand from Jimmy. He's got Galissapod. He's got double puzzle. You really don't want a double puzzle for stuff that's not energy in this matchup, though. So Jimmy might have to commit to the double puzzle here. So we're initially just going to see the Parallel City. He could just get risky with it and swing for 100. And I actually don't hate this play from Jimmy. So he could double puzzle for like Evo Soda Max Potion. Get another Zork out. He could get an Ultra Ball for second Lele if it's not prized. But I don't hate this play. So whenever you're playing a bad matchup like Jimmy is playing here, you want to take these kind of risks and be like, okay, I just hope he actually doesn't have Field Blower here. And has to attack again to not get a knockout. Because it'll slowly build an advantage. Like, Jimmy needs to find a way to slowly build advantages. We know Tord has the Liquid in hand. He's got Max Potion in hand. He's got everything in hand. So Tord's not going to be worried about that. Trade Mew looks like the best trade here. Start off with, he has a Parallel City follow of his own, which is great. Trade N looks pretty good here as well. Trade Ultra Ball, there's also an Ultra Ball in there. I think you want the option of the Ultra Ball for Lele down the line. So you don't want to get rid of all your shuffle draw, so I don't know if he wants to trade this next N. He's definitely going to Delinquent, so he might Delinquent first and see what Jimmy does before he uses his last trade. Looks like Puzzle and Galissapod. So he maybe has triple Puzzle in hand. There's the Parallel City, Wonder Tag. I'm curious as to what supporter he's actually going for here. Oh, it doesn't matter. No, he's just trying to fill up his bench to do damage. That's right. For that, now he's probably going to trade it away, or Ultra Ball it away. That works too. And he needs to get another basic Pokemon. Gonna grab a Guzma to either. He has one more trade left. I don't know if he's actually going to trade again. He doesn't have to here. You can draw the two. Like, if he doesn't want to expend any of his, like, all of his deck is like enhanced hammers left. So if you trade 3 times next turn, you'll probably find an enhanced hammer. So if he doesn't want to expend any of the resources in his hand for his third trade here, I'm pretty sure he has a trade left. I might be wrong. I don't think so though. Then he could just take the knockout, and then I'm pretty sure he has a trade here left. He maybe doesn't. But if he wants to keep all the cards that are in his hand, which is very possible at this point because he's gone through so much stuff already. And the rest of his deck is pretty much just enhanced hammers, then that's fine. So we're gonna see double puzzle for puzzle Lele here from Jimmy. I don't know what the last card in his hand was. We should see an N coming out with the Lele. Oh, it's another puzzle. Okay, yeah. So he had triple puzzle in hand. That's kind of unfortunate for Jimmy. This one is already looking like it's about to be over. Fortunately, yeah. Tord hasn't even been able to do what his deck is supposed to do, and we're trying to see. And this is kind of how Zork mirror matches can go. Like, if one person just gets out triple Zork on their second turn, especially going first, and the other one follows up with Zork no draw supporter, like, that could just be the game there sometimes. So trade number 1 from Ginge. Ugh, he's got DCE. He traded the Cynthia. I'm not a huge fan of that. I maybe would have traded the counter catcher. It's gonna be really hard to utilize the counter catcher fully in this matchup. Like Tor's gonna constantly just be healing anything that takes damage or anything that he thinks is potentially gonna be able to get KO'd. Reverse Rally doesn't triple enhanced hammer in hand off that end. Like I said, the enhanced hammers are there. That's basically all his deck right now. Ooh, the double puzzle. Gonna be yeah, that's pretty much as good as it gets here for Tord. Which we'll probably see Acerola here. So I know I brought this up before in the past, and even in my VOD reviews here about when you pressure a DCE, it's best not to also enhance hammer it, because I'm pretty sure Tord is about to attack here as he goes for DC Rolla. So he's gonna be pressuring. If he didn't enhance hammer DC, he would be pressuring it. But in Tord's case, with how his deck works, that's his win condition, is just over unnecessarily like punish like pressuring resources. So that's it changes up when you play the control Zork. Like sure if the DC was still on the Zork, it would be pressured pretty efficiently because he hit into it. Zorua, nice. So we're gonna get a KO on Zorua here finally from Jimmy, hopefully. Ideally with the Zork, I think. Then we'll want to see Jimmy move into attacking with Golisopod after that. He really did not want to put the float stone here. I mean, the ideal setup eventually is like 2 Golisopods with 2 basic grass energy and 2 float stones. It's really hard to get to that point, but that's like the ideal eventual setup. Crazy Ultra Ball. I don't know if I don't know. I almost want to keep an Ultra Ball to find another eventually. Whatever. Jimmy will finally draw his first prize. It's not a huge deal on Jimmy's side, I don't think. Rangaroo is coming active here from Tort. I think he's ready to go into Instruct. Or not Instruct. What's it called? Resource management. I think if he whiffs the Guzma here on the KO on the bench Zorak, he'll go into resource management. That's why he sent up the Rangaroo. But if he hits the Guzma, I would assume he would go KO the Zorak. But maybe he's not trying to go down that far on resources yet. Like he might Mallow here for enhanced hammer something. No, we're just going with the trade. So I think it's potential that if he gets the Guzma, he'll go for the KO. And if he doesn't, that's why he sent then he would go for the resource management. So I think that's what Tord was thinking here. That's why he sends up the Rangaroo over a Zork. Hitting the active Zork doesn't really do that much. I don't think we'll see double puzzle for enhanced hammer as a possibility. He would have liked to have just drawn in enhanced hammer. So once again, this isn't really, this matchup isn't grinding down to why Tord's deck is favored in this matchup. This matchup has so far been Tord got out triple Zork turn 2 going first, and Jimmy got out 1 Zork, no draw support. That's all this matchup has been so far. I think Jimmy did make the right play for going for Bridget, even though his hand wasn't great. Also, Jimmy hasn't been able to move this Parallel City in forever. See him just go Lele for N. Yeah, so I still think Jimmy going for the Bridget on turn 1, even though his hand wasn't great as a tap follow-up, is still the right play. Because if you just don't go for Bridget, there's a good chance you'll get just beat because you weren't able to find your basic Pokemon. Trading away Wimpod. I'm not a big fan of that. Like I said, I want to try and see double Golisopod get set up eventually, but there's finally the field blower on that. Parallel Cities, Tord back down, enhanced hammer. So finally we're seeing some good stuff out of Jimmy. Like I said, I didn't like the Wimpod trade there though. And I think I remember actually watching this game and seeing Jimmy play it out, and I was like, I don't want him to trade Wimpod here, because if he does draw the field blower off the trade, then he needs it to actually sufficiently hit the Zorak. Yeah, so I would like to see him trade the Zorak here over the Wimpod. The Flowstone, the Guzma, the Enhanced Hammer are all good. I want to see him keep the Wimpod here. So he gets the extra bench Pokemon, he can just attack with Zorak. Like I said, you don't want to expend any. You want to make every resource as, I don't even know if I mentioned. You want to make every resource as valuable, as get as much value out of each resource as possible. So now he has to, he's hitting for 80. I would like to have seen him just, if he had the Wimpod here, hitting for 100 is way better, right? So I would like to have seen him trade the Zorak, keep the Wimpod. Where we're at now. Tord's hand is not great, but we'll probably see him go into resource management. Oh, maybe not. I would I guess we want to see him trade first. Ideally, he needs a little bit more, I guess. Yeah, he's getting rid of he doesn't care about field blowing this turn. I think he's just gonna go for the whatever it's called, the resource management on this turn. Trade away the float zone probably. Okay, the Lele. Float zone doesn't seem that valuable either. I don't think either of them are that good at this point. Either of them get that much done. I think we'll see. Yeah, Guzma goes with Golisopod to stop the first impression, and then we'll see. I don't know what's in his discard pile. I think he'll grab double puzzle enhanced hammer or maybe double puzzle Guzma. I think there's 2 puzzle in there, right? Yeah. So or puzzle DCE. Running out of DC, then that makes sense. Yeah, I guess there's 3 DC total in play. 2 in the discard pile, 1 on the rank. Puzzle DC makes sense. Back over to Jimmy. Ideally, he KOs the Zork and I think ignores the Rangaroo for a turn. Ideally, yeah, I think he KOs the Zork on the bench and ignores the Rangaroo. So he's focused on it immediately and then Sycamore follow up. Fine with that. So he could GX the Rangaroo if he wanted to. Gosh, it's so bad. He could. I mean, ideally, he probably wants to ride as beating the benched damage Zoroark and then KO the Oranguru on the next turn. GXing the Oranguru just feels so bad. But I almost feel like he doesn't have a choice here. I don't know how big a fan I am of that Floatstone. I think he probably should just send up Zoroark there. I don't think he needed to go with the. I'm curious if Tord is going to end first or just trade. Okay. Maybe there's a difference. I don't know what other supporter he's going to look to use. All he really needs here is enhanced hammers. All he really needs. There's E-Hammer, Max Potion. E-Hammer here is pretty good. At least E-Hammer off the Zoroark's energy, I think. Yeah. You don't have to E-Hammer off the Gliscopod's energy yet because it can still first impression. He might just go back into a Rangaroo on this turn, which sounds pretty good to me. It looks like that's what he's going for. Max Potion, then he can double puzzle for a Rangaroo, and then he can get an enhanced hammer and a Rangaroo, and then bring up the Gliscopod, but you're not really afraid of the Gliscopod doing armor press. It can't one-shot the Oranguru if you just bring it active, so that's all I think you care about. He's starting to deck out, so he's going for the Stretcher. Attach, and then we should just see the Guzma on the Gliscopod. And this will about lock up this game, I think. We might just see him constantly just bring up the Gliscopod and resource management under it until Jimmy decks out, really. I don't really think there's a way for Jimmy to pull this one out. One strategy that Jimmy could actually use in this matchup that he wasn't able to so far, and I don't know, it might be because MuEX is prized, but he can actually use MuEX to copy resource management and then make it really awkward for Tord. There's the Delinquent. That's a pretty strong play here from Jimmy, actually. Between Delinquent and him using Mew to copy resource management, the matchup actually, he can actually turn it around a little bit. I think he might go for the KO here if possible. Yep. Zorua DCE. Okay, there's the float. I forgot there was the Floatstone on the Gliscopod. If Tord could have removed that, that would have been good for. So we see him trade. Probably trade the DCE. He just needs like, what is he gonna get? I don't remember what his next 2 cards are. I actually can't even tell if that's 3 or 4 cards. He needs to try an enhanced hammer here for sure. I think he needs to go with enhanced hammer and then just try and get resource management down again. I don't know if he can do that. He won't be able to do that in 3 cards though. He's gonna go with the pass here. All right. He knows. Maybe he knows what his next 4 card, his top deck is, in the end trade, what he can trade into from there. I don't know what it would. Double puzzle, Oranguru, Guzma probably. Jimmy might just be running out of ways to retreat. So if Tord knows that, then it seems pretty good to me. Bring up the Wimpod, and yeah, I think Jimmy's pretty much about out of everything right now. Just probably take triple puzzle. I think there's still a puzzle in the deck here for Tord. Yep, looks like triple puzzle. And they're going in. And Jimmy's thinking, I don't think there's a way for Jimmy to get out of this. He might actually just be out of everything. If I know all 4 puzzle are gone. Second Guzma's gone. So there's actually just no way for Jimmy to do anything. E-Hammer, the Oranguru. Yes. Draw from Tord. Maybe just hoping that Tord messes up at this point. I think, yeah, but there is another resource management. I think Tord's gonna be worried for a while. Puzzle, DC, Guzma, probably. Probably want a DC. He's gonna go for the stretcher, I guess. Refill the deck up a little bit. Get him in. There they are. Draw from Jimmy. I guess Jimmy's one hope. One of Jimmy's only hopes here is that Tord possibly so we could see Ace of Rolla, or we could go Max Potion Floatstone. I guess Ace of Rolla is about as good as anything else. You can also get a Enhanced Hammer here if you want. Looks like he's going with the Parallel City. The Parallel City really limits Jimmy's damage output. Then he'll just go back into. I was going with the Cynthia. Okay, so he's gonna look to reset his hand. Yeah, he's not even gonna bench his Zorua to give Jimmy a target to Guzma out. Just DC puzzle and the pass. And Jimmy scoops finally. All right, yeah. So Jimmy got locked up on the Wimpod. So yeah, there's the Mew. Yeah, the Mew was prized. So one strategy we can see Jimmy try and execute. So it's a shame that the Mew was prized actually. He can use Mew to copy a Rangaroo and kind of get back his own sources. We'll see if he's able to pull it off in this game too. I don't. I didn't watch the game, so I actually don't know. I mean, I do know. Yeah, so we'll see if Jimmy can pull that off in the game too. But that's what we want to see. That's like one of his outs is he can use Mew to copy a Rangaroo. What was the other thing I wanted to? Yeah, eventually, I mean, ideally, I think you want to set up 2 Glissopods, and that's where you want to put your float stones, ideally. Yeah, Mew copying a Rangaroo plus Delinquent could be enough pressure to beat towards deck, but he really has to. I mean, he has to hope Mew's not prized. Like, you know, especially in the late game situation, if he's able to get the Rangaroo up into the active, use the resource management to the point where Tord, you know, like where Tord can't like actually just one shot Jimmy's Mew because of stuff like just doesn't have enough Pokemon on his bench. Like in the late game scenario, they're both running low on Pokemon and stuff. So we'll see. So Jimmy will go first on this one. Another way Jimmy can win is just pretty much how Tord won game 1, which was just get 3 Zoroarks out turn 2 and just start swinging. So maybe we can just see that from Jimmy. Maybe we can just see him go turn 2, triple Zoroark, and just kind of run Tord over, like we saw Tord pretty much do to Jimmy in the first half of that game. But then the way the decks kind of match up, Jimmy just has more attackers and more efficient attackers under Parallel City. So we saw he's able to like kind of catch back up with dealing enough damage to catch up. Yeah, I think you should keep the Reverse Valley. I know it looked like that was Tord's second option to discard, but if Jimmy has Parallel City turn 2, you want to be able to bump it. So we should just see Lele for Bridget here from Tord. Ideally for triple Zorua, but he may be prized one. That's very good for Jimmy if Jimmy is then able to. Oh, there's a triple Zorua. Ideally, Jimmy really wants to see a Zorua prize there, so he can knock out the active, and then maybe if Tord only gets like 1 Zoroark out next turn, chase down the Zorua, and then Tord's on 1 trade. That would be a way that Jimmy could possibly win the game. Is literally just keep Tord's trade count so low that he's never able to find anything he really needs to keep up. And there's the pass. At the very least, we just want to see Jimmy here take. All right, turn 1 Parallel City, very nice. And it's not the ideal supporter always. I mean, it's fine here. Yeah, ideally, Jimmy just wants a DC here. I mean, ideally, he gets triple Zoroark and a DC, but he would settle for just a DC here if he had to. Really would like to see more than 1 Zoroark come out though. Trade number 1. All right, there we go. Second Zoroark. Let's get it. That's what we want to see. We want to see Jimmy try and put up a fight in this one. Once again, we want to see Mew. The two other most important cards besides just getting an aggressive start is Mew and Delinquent. So he whiffs his 3rd Zoroark, but it's not a huge deal. I wonder if we'll see Tord immediately try and chase down the Zoroark on the bench, or the Zorua on the bench with the counter catcher. I'm interested to see if he goes for that. So it looks like he's going for Sycamore. His hand must be able to play out quite a bit of his hand. The Sycamore goes back to the rest of the hand. I see Field Blower, 1 puzzle. Weakness Policy isn't very good. Oh, he's gonna go immediately for the counter catcher on the Glissopods. Okay, interesting. I'm actually pretty interested. See how that plays off. So I mean, ideally, I think he wants to hit it. I don't think he's trying to go into resource management immediately. So Ultra Ball. So this is his only Zoroark immediately. So Jimmy's hoping that he doesn't able to get any other Zoroarks, and then Jimmy then can Guzma knock out his Zorua on the following turn. All Jimmy really wants is to take out another Zorua. Slow down towards trading. I think we'll see him trade the enter the max potion. Oh, he's just going to attack for 100, actually. Okay. Jimmy's fine with this then. I mean, a float stone to hit on the active is okay, but ideally, Jimmy definitely wants to knock out a Zorua here with a Guzma. Definitely what he's looking for. See if he gets there. E-Hammer's all right. Passing would be terrible. Okay, we got the Guzma. There's the Guzma on the Zorua, and we'll see the knockout here for Jimmy. So Jimmy is up 2 prizes now, and then ideally, Jimmy once again wants to see Tord not evolve this Zoroark up. There's the top deck Zoroark, and then he ideally wanted to like knock out that Zorua next turn. But this game is starting off way better for Jimmy, and this is like kind of the power of going first in Zoroark Mirrors is just, and that's why Zoroark Lycanroc is kind of the best Zoroark deck in Zoroark Mirrors. As long as it's built to prepare for other Zoroark decks, you know, everyone's playing heavy enhanced hammer shenanigans right now, so you want to like with heavier basic energy, so on and so forth. Well, that is why Zoroark is kind of the generally has the advantage in Zoroark Mirrors, because it is able to constantly just gust up other like Zoruas, Rockruffs, Wimpods, whatever it might be, and then also play like a draw supporter in the turn. So we haven't seen the trades yet from Tord. Here they come. We got Enhanced Hammer DCE, so we'll see the Enhanced Hammer DCE on the active and just swing for 100. Draws and immediately ends. Not super strong from Jimmy, as there's only an end to 4 for him. Tord doesn't mind. It's an end to 6 for him. 6 new cards. Ideally, Jimmy wants to see like Max Potion DC swing, or even if he, I mean, Enhanced Hammer Max Potion DC swing would be great. Float Stone, Enhanced Hammer swing with Bench Zoroark is fine as well. Unfortunately, Jimmy has not been able to find a third Zoroark yet. There we go. There he finally is. He's been hiding out. So we see Max Spot on Gliscopod, so it's probably Float Stone, Grass First Impression. This is pretty solid too. The Gliscopod is ideally something you want to protect, as it is able to use basic energy, which means on Torch Turn it would force out the Flare Grunt. And if he wants to heal a Zoroark, he'd have to Max Potion, which gets rid of an energy. I wonder what, so we'll see the Flare Grunt immediately searched out here from Tord. So I think Tord's ideal turn is going to be Max Potion, DCE, Flare Grunt, like this. He could also just trap it and go to a Rangaroo. Yeah, he's going to go do that. Max Potion ideally on the benched Zoroark, yep. So Gliscopod is really nice to attack with, unless they have the Flare Grunt, which Tord did, and we'll see. The Recovery, Puzzle, who knows? Okay, he's going with counter, DCE. Max Potion looks good. Flare Grunt. You don't want to put Flare Grunt in the deck, because actually with Tord being behind, he can just do this all day now. He can just keep the Gliscopod trapped active. That could be his game plan here. Looks like Jimmy's traded away a DCE, which is not great. Wonder what the rest of his hand was to make him to trade away DCE. So Floatstone is the ideal draw here from Jimmy. Floatstone, DCE, bench Pokemon. Hopefully we see that out of him right here. Going for Zorua DCE, it looks like. So if he has second Floatstone, this is actually pretty fine for Jimmy. He's going to get a knockout. His bench is now full, so he won't actually be able to pull off the U copy a Rangaroo play anymore. So that could be troublesome here for Jimmy. We'll see how it goes. We'll see where it goes from here. It might be, I think actually in this game, if I remember correctly, it's prized. But I'm not sure. Towards setting up the Mallow. Looks like Perilous City Puzzles, something. I don't know, from Tord here, if he could just go Field Blower, Enhanced Hammer, Counter Catcher, the Gliscopod, I think that's all he really needs to do. He doesn't need to get too complicated with this play. Like Field Blower, the Floatstone off the Gliscopod, Counter Catcher it up. If you could also somehow set up a Rangaroo and use the Rangaroo, that'd be, I think, the ideal play. I'm not sure about this. I'm also not sure about Jimmy discarding the Zoroark. I don't think he needed to do that. I mean, you want the trade in play, I feel like. I don't know. We'll see how Tord plays it. Now Tord can like KO your Zorua, and then you just lose a ton of bench Pokemon. I guess you could have counter catchered KO the Zoroark as well. But prizes shouldn't really be an issue here for Jimmy, I don't think. Like Tord drawing prizes shouldn't be too much on Jimmy's mind right now. Yeah, like I would have liked to have seen Jimmy just keep this Zoroark in play. Like Tord is not going to win this game. Tord is going to run you out of resources before he draws his 6 prizes. So even if he KOs that Zoroark, so I would have liked to have seen Jimmy keep this Zoroark, ditch the Zorua actually. goes with here. He's got the enhanced hammer for the Rangaroo, but if he doesn't have the damage, looks like it might just be swing for 80. So weak. Tord's definitely gonna be looking for max potion, DCE. There's the enhanced hammer. Acerola works as well, and the lock is starting to take effect. You can see Jimmy get there's the counter catcher on the Golisopod, just to shut off the first impression so it can't knock out the Oranguru. And we're gonna see counter catcher Acerola, enhanced hammer here from Tord. It looks like DC instead of counter catcher. Straight from Jimmy. We need to see Jimmy go, like, here would be the perfect time for Jimmy to go into the Mew if it's not prized and just resource management himself and make it awkward for Tord. Ideally, the ideal setup would be like remove this Parallel City Tord back down to 3, and then use Mew to copy a Rangaroo. But I don't know if Jimmy has a Parallel City here. We'll have to see. Or even, well, with him benching that, I don't even think he has the Mew. He's gonna go for the out on the Rangaroo. Or we should just see. I don't even know. Ideally, he would go like. He's gonna bring up the Wimpod here. It looks like. Ideally, he would go like counter catcher Wimpod. Go back into a Rangaroo. Like, I don't think he's gonna KO this Wimpod here. I think he's just gonna pass, and then he'll be able to retreat the Zoroark next turn. There's not a reason really for him to KO it. Just enhance hammer at the bench. Yep, and then just pass. I think. And he's just going to use that DC on the Zoroark to retreat into a Rangaroo next turn, and then go back into the resource management. Jimmy's about to deck out here, so he's going to have to come up with some kind of play here for sure. See, I don't think there's anything he's going to be able to do. There's a grass on the Golisopod, so if he gets second float, nope, just going to set up the grass. So we could see counter catcher Flare Grunt here come out of Tord. Plus, I think that's what we will see. See counter catcher Flare Grunt, yeah, and then he has counter catcher Flare Grunt, stretcher for a Rangaroo, bench a Rangaroo, attach EC, and then Field Blower. I think I saw Field Blower in his hand, so he'll probably Field Blower the Floatstone. He doesn't have to though; it's not a huge deal. He could actually just go into the resource management. But yeah, I don't think it's super important to go with the Field Blower. Yep, on the bottom, gets the stretcher because he just wants to make sure he doesn't deck out himself. He would ever want to switch into attacker, but I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think we'll see this one slowly drain down a couple more turns, and then we'll probably see Jimmy scoop. I don't think Tord is going to be drawing prizes. Jimmy's very close. There's his second double puzzle. DCE, DCE. So we'll see the knockout on the Oranguru. But he's almost out of everything here. I think he might be out of everything. So I don't think he's going to be able to knock out another Oranguru. Knockout on the Oranguru. Back over to Tord. For puzzle, so we're gonna look to set up some kind. Tord is gonna look to set up some kind of final lock here. I don't know what he's gonna go for. We'll see. I know he's counting Jimmy's resources, trying to figure out what would just lock Jimmy out of the game. I think there's definitely some kind of play here that will lock Jimmy out of the game with 4 puzzle, and Jimmy being this low on resources. I don't know. Let's see. Parallel City, enhanced hammer. You do like Field Blower, the Float, Parallel City, enhanced hammer, a Rangaroo, Guzma, something like that. Yeah, he's actually gonna trade a puzzle into the stretcher. I don't know why he wanted to get the stretcher so bad. Yeah, that seemed unnecessary. He could have just double puzzled for. Yeah, he could have double puzzled for Parallel City, enhanced hammer, and then double puzzle for Guzma, Rangaroo, and then Parallel City, enhanced hammer, maybe Field Blower, maybe not. I don't even. Stretcher for 3. Those go back into the deck, and then triple puzzle on the bottom. I remember watching this actually. I did watch the end of this game at NAIC. He's doing this. I think Tord has a 1-card hand. He's doing this. He's playing around Jimmy having a 4th N in deck, or playing a 4th N. Jimmy's been through 3 N at this point. So this play, he's trying to play around Jimmy having a 4th N, which is okay, I guess. See, Jimmy has Floatstone here. He has game, but no, he doesn't. Both a Zork and hit a Zork. There's no way this stops Tord from winning, though. Gonna Parallel City himself. Get a Pokemon that could be locked up. But that means he just doesn't do enough damage to really close out the game. We'll see Tord trade. Trade again. Then he can double puzzle for... I don't want to get Acerola. Max Potion, DCE. Or I guess you have to Acerola, but you just don't have to bench Zorua. So you can go Acerola, Enhanced Hammer. Acerola Counter Catcher. Yeah, he's got options. Acerola Counter Catcher, Enhanced Hammer, Bramthalele would be the ideal play, but he doesn't have access to everything. Acerola brings up Harangaroo. Should just Source Management for 3. Yeah, always getting the Stretcher. DC, Stretcher. Jimmy draws. And I don't think there's a way. He doesn't have enough Pokemon to fill up his bench to knock out Harangaroo, even if he has a Field Blower. I think he has 1 DC left in hand. Trade, look at his last card. DCE. And yeah, that's going to be it. Jimmy would deck out. And Tord wins 2-0. They were actually pretty close games overall. We didn't see Jimmy utilize the Mew. This game, I don't think it was prized. Game 1, it was prized. This game, actually, I think his bench was probably too awkward a lot of the times. He was either out of full bench to ride his beating, but he could have tried to fit it in on one of those benches and then make Tord go chase it or something, which makes it awkward for Tord. Especially if you bench it on a turn where Tord would want to resource management. You could have made it awkward for Tord by benching the Mew EX. And then him knowing if he resources management, then Jimmy can get a resource management in. I don't think this game... it's hard for me to tell because I couldn't see Jimmy's hand at all during this game. Game 1, the Mew EX was prized, so he didn't even have an option to go for that play. Yeah, with not being able to see his hand, I don't know if Jimmy ever had like a way to get the Mew EX rolling. It's fine for him if he puts the Mew EX in play. It's fine if Tord goes and chases and KOs it, as long as you have double puzzle to get it back later in the game. That's fine. Like, you don't care if Tord goes and chases and KOs it. So I would like to have seen Jimmy put it in play if he had the chance to. Once again, I can't tell because I can't see his hand. But this went about as I expected. Tord eventually locked up both games and ran Jimmy out of resources. This one was actually pretty close. This last game here was pretty close. But not quite enough. And had it gone, with them not having a ton of time left, I think Jimmy is... the matchup was like close. I don't think Jimmy's advantage is probably like a 50-50 at that point. Because they don't have enough time for Tord to set up the lock before one of them draws enough prizes and time is out. So the matchup becomes about a 50-50, I think. But in this scenario... where they had enough time for the first 2 games, Tord was able to lock them both out. But had Jimmy won this game 2, game 3, there wouldn't have been enough time for Tord to set up this kind of lock. And we could have seen Jimmy draw more prizes than Tord before time ran out. Or as time ran out, which could have given Jimmy the win in game 3. But that's going to do it for the top 4 matches. I am going to be doing juniors, seniors, and masters finals. If I can find the juniors and seniors finals, actually, I couldn't find them today, so I'll have to look. I think they're out there though. I should be able to find them. So those will be coming at you guys soon. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you enjoy the content, subscribe. As always, I'm always open to constructive criticism. If I missed anything in this match that you guys think might have been a misplay on either player's side, put it in the comment section down below. I don't catch everything. I'm not perfect. I'm trying to get better. The videos are sometimes a little faster than 2 times speed. Links in the description as always. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook. Like that stuff. Want to. And have a good day, guys. Peace.